Recording in progress, but I'm sure you already knew that.
Yes.
So I guess we'll go to we'll go to another experiencer question. I was just curious. I think it was the Lido files.
Okay.
You guys were discussing a when you're on Fire Island, there was a foot. It was a six-toed foot.
Yes.
And
Yes.
here's the $1 million question. You ready for this one? So you guys noticed, was this the same time as the other spheroids, or was this different when you were reviewing it?
This was a different time. It was I don't know the date offhand. I'd have to check our notes, but
Okay.
we had a couple of sightings earlier in the evening with
Yes,
spheroids. And I don't know if this was the one that it was the blue spheroid over the ocean. Yeah, I'd have to check the date on that.
Yeah,
But
I think it was the blue.
the footprint was. We noticed these three pairs of footprints.
Yeah.
It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. Right. We went out there with a thermal camera, and you could see that there was residual heat emanating from these footprints. And they were fresh. They were absolutely. I mean, I don't believe that we would have had a thermal signature more than maybe 10 minutes. And we actually tested that. I took my shoes off. I stepped in my barefoot. Our research assistant Donna Nardo had did the same thing. Stepped down, stepped in the sand, and we timed it. It was they stay warm and up to that temperature that we measured temperature about 56 degrees. So these footprints, they would get to that temperature maybe after 10 minutes. Sure. Right. So it was within a 10-minute time frame that those footprints were left. Mm-hmm. And these footprints were abnormal. That's how we noticed them in the sand. They were bare footprints, but they were wide at the forefoot where the toes are, and there were 6 toes on each footprint, and they were like twice as long as a normal toe.
So my $1 million question, you guys were joking, like it said, sorry, Clementine, no dogs allowed on the beach. So question is, you guys were joking, well, maybe it was no feet allowed, and six-toed foot. Here's my conjecture. I can't even call it a hypothesis. Could it be possible that, given that there are different, that there is a hypothesis out there that we could have parallel existences at different frequencies, or maybe different gravitational fields, whatever. So for this six-legged being, it was a day at the beach, and for some reason you caught it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, those hypotheses are on the table. There's of course, you got the extraterrestrial hypothesis, the crypto-terrestrial hypothesis, and the ultra-terrestrial hypothesis with these higher dimensional, if there's higher dimensional space. Right. And I think they're all feasible. They all should be on the table. And this kind of goes hand in hand with another observation that we had made, where we took an image, and Donna, one of our researchers, had taken pictures of our setup at night, and you could see that there's a truncated torso. It looks like the lower torso of a two-legged, biped. You could see that there's a shadowing in there, and I don't know if I can show you that. It's definitely in the book.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah, and this was she was, like I said, she was just photographing our setup. It was probably about 11 o'clock midnight, something like that. And this figure showed up in maybe one frame of the photo of the photographs, and the video clip she took. Right. Let me see if I can.
I mean, we could pull it up in your book offline if you prefer. Either way is fine. If you guys want to show it to us, that's great. If not, we could pull it up in your book.
Yeah, I think I have it. I think I have it.
Okay.
All right. All right. There it is. Okay. Float her up. And share.
All right, so there's the
You guys see
foot.
that?
You see that? It's hard to see on the projector, but if you look on a computer, that's actually somebody's
Right.
pants. You
And I'll
see
zoom in.
somebody's foot.
All right. Can you guys see the zoomed in image?
Yes, yes. Is there
Okay.
can
So
you
this is
focus that?
very bizarre.
Can you
You,
focus that on? Yeah.
and you'll see what looks like to us the lower leg, and looks like a muscular leg.
Yeah. An anklet.
There's an anklet on there with looks like a pentagon or polygon, two charms.
Right. But it doesn't even really. I mean, other than possibly being a biped, it doesn't really. I don't think it really resembles
No, it does. It's sprinting.
a person.
It's like the back of the leg. Somebody's sprinting through a fence. But this is that's very low to the ground. This is something low to the ground sprinting.
Right. And you can see the shadow. You can see
Yeah,
some
and
of
it's
the.
shadow of the entire being, I
Yeah, you
guess.
see it dissolve away, but you still see the shadow of the upper body, which is weird.
Right. And then you'll see that's interesting around the fence here. You'll see what looks like a part of a weed of some sort, a crust, and then some of the the fencing material is actually hidden behind the shadow, which
Oh,
is interesting. And you see these very defined edges.
And it doesn't really make sense because
And you see the light is here, so it's kind of
there's all
wondering.
we have a lot of backlighting from both the RV and our cameras on set up. I don't I don't even understand where that shadow would come from.
We actually had two computer scientists looking at this also, and they couldn't understand how the shadow would be present with the kind of lighting that you see reflecting off the post.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very defined. It's an area of darkness. You can see a diffusion in here. It looks like the color of this, possibly this uniform or whatever it is. But it spreads out. You can actually see it spread out over here, and then it's of course the shadowing of something else. You also see, where the one of the pieces of equipment was on a tripod back here, but you can see the shadowing from that, and that's because,
And this person is blocking the shadow of the tripod,
right.
which is very interesting.
Yes, exactly.
oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see the tripod shadow. Yeah. See, so that's their camera tripod shadow right
And
there.
this is where this is what they have trouble with. They said that the tripod back here, this should be casting a shadow on this object as well, whatever this is, a leg, a foot, or whatever.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I'll call it a shot in the dark because I'm too embarrassed to say it's a scientific hypothesis, but I'm going to say it's a parallel dimension operating at a different, maybe spectral frequency. But I don't know. I guess you guys said it could be any of many things. So
Right.
Well, our thought is when we talk about the ultra terrestrial hypothesis, I know people talk about like the multiverses and the many worlds hypotheses where these higher other dimensions of separate universes. I don't believe it would be something like that. I think all you'd need is if you took everything we see, we live in a three-dimensional world, and we only see three sides of anything. If we have a fourth dimension, if our reality is actually constructed of fourth dimension or fifth dimension, we wouldn't be aware of that because senses are evolved to see in three dimensions.
sure.
So our thought is when we talk about higher dimensions is higher spatial geometry. Our world could be constructed of a complex geometry. It could be folded in on itself. It could be manifolds.
Right. And the fact that this was only on a single frame of video, it was just fortunate that it was synchronized at that one period of time, the fraction of a second that it was able to capture.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that the physical manifestation was.
And I think on Ross Coulthard Day, I mean, when they were out in the desert there, I think they were talking about the witnesses claiming seeing portals or photographic portals.
Oh yes.
So I mean, this you could kind of fit that here if you want to consider the idea of a portal.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay. Is it true or is it not true that the majority of anomalies are occurring on the coast or near bodies of water? I guess in this case,
There's quite a few of that occurring near water. It seems to be an infinity of water.
Right.
Whether it's near a coastline or it's near a pond or a lake, people have been seeing these
Right,
objects.
right. Especially, if you
In Connecticut too, there's a police officer who saw one object. It dropped low over his car, lit up his car, then shot off over a pond or over a what's a reservoir over there.
right, right. And if you ask somebody like Richard Dolan, he believes, of course, that the presentation is if there was enough people out there, you'd see a lot more over the ocean, over the water, the waterways.
Okay.